Happy Thursday, everyone. We are here again presenting to you another podcast in our coaching community. And today I have Jasmine with us. And Jasmine and I, we spoke a few months ago. It's been a while since we spoke. And I don't know much about NLP. I know in the coaching community, a lot of you are professionals or proficient, maybe not professionals, but proficient in this technique. And a lot of you have been using it with your clients. But today, actually, Jasmine wanted to talk to us about the shiny thing syndrome that we coaches get. We keep bouncing around from one program into another, and every time it's $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 here and there. And we invest in all those different things, but it's just spinning wheels and it's not adding to our bottom line. Not for everyone, of course, but for many. And if you're someone who identifies yourself with this issue, then this topic is for you. So Jasmine, over to you. Why don't you just introduce yourself, share with us more about yourself. How did you get started, and what made you propose this topic?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me today. I really am excited to be here. My business is called Good Things Are Going to Come, and I started my company about 3 years ago. And my background is I have a bachelor's in psychology, but I went into a very different route in life. I actually worked in the nonprofit industry for almost 19 years. And then when I went through a divorce 4 years ago, I lost my job shortly after that. And it was an opportunity for me to really evaluate what it was that I wanted to be doing with my life, not only personally, but also professionally. And I wanted to go back to my psychology roots, and I did not go back to get my master's, but what I wanted to do was to be able to help people the way that I felt I could have used support when I was going through many challenging transitions in my life. And that's why I really, really wanted to become a coach. I had worked with life coaches in my past, and I felt that I had a lot of that I could offer to different people out there who were navigating challenging transitions. And that's honestly how it started. And I do work with many divorced women who are just navigating this next chapter of their lives. But I also work with really anybody who is just feeling stuck. I think that, that is what life coaching is. You're going to help someone to set goals, realistic goals, and help hold them accountable for them, give them tips and tools on different things that they can try. And my whole concept is there's no one size fits all approach to anything in life. And that includes navigating the transitions that you're going to face. And that's why I believe that NLP is so beneficial, because there are hundreds of different types of techniques in NLP. Some work for some work if you are focusing more on your business or you're focusing on something personal, but there's so many different types that you can try just to pick and choose to see what's going to work for you.
Excellent. So talk to us more about the shining thing syndrome and how can NLP help with that?
Yes. So when I started my business, I was not an entrepreneur. I honestly didn't know a lot about starting my own business. My ex-husband was a business owner. And so I kind of saw what he had to do and everything that he had to navigate with that. But when I started my coaching business, I was to blame actually for wanting to buy everything that I saw that was posted out there. I wanted my business to grow. I definitely wanted to help people, but I wanted to be able to help as many people as quickly as possible. So I fell into that. I fell into looking at all of the different things that were coming up on my Facebook feed, or that I was being emailed on, how to make $10,000 a month in your first year of coaching, and all of these wonderful ideas. And I invested into many of them without doing a lot of research. And I spent a lot of money that I maybe should not have spent. And I don't want to say that I regret it, because I definitely learned from those experiences. But there are so many different products out there. And I think it's, I think if we go back to our childhood when, there's a new toy that's released and you want it for Christmas or you want it for your birthday. And then the next month, a new toy is released or a better video game, and then you want it again. So it's in us from the time we're young. We want to purchase those things that are going to make us feel better, or they're going to enhance our business. And we want things to happen quickly. That's just how we're programmed in life. Okay, great. My business just started. If I purchase this program, they're guaranteeing me that I'm going to have 10 new clients in the next month if I work with them or if I do these different things. And not to say that some of those techniques don't work for some people, but they're not going to work for everybody. And so I learned, again, the hard way after spending a lot of money on different programs, to do your research. Really do your research. There are different types of coaches out there that are going to be able to offer you things that are going to be beneficial for you. But I just saw an ad recently that came across my feed, and it was that, if you do this group coaching program, you're not going to have any one-on-one clients anymore, and you're going to be able to make all of this money in such a short period of time. Again, that might work for some people, but do your research. And also, these people who are offering these products to you, research them as well, because there are some great coaches out there who are offering wonderful products that really could enhance your business, but you should do that research on your own. So reach out to that person before you spend $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 on their product, and find out how many clients do they have? How long have they been doing this? What is their background? I kind of associate that with when you go to see a doctor. You can ask them, how long have you been in practice? You can even actually ask a doctor what their GPA was, because this person is going to be providing medical care for you. So you want to make sure that you have the best doctor out there. So if you're going to be investing a lot of money, thousands of dollars into these products that are going to help your business, you owe it to yourself to do some research first. And I know it looks great when they're telling you that they can help you make $10,000 in the next 3 months if you take these steps. And again, that could have happened for one or two of their clients, but really, is it going to work for you? All of us have our niches. All of us have our specific clientele that we market to. So all of those different products out there, they're not going to work for everybody. Just like what I do with my coaching, there's not a one size fits all approach to your business and how you're going to get more clients.
And so where does the NLP process come in? Can we have a sample of it? Or what did you think about? What was your idea? How did you want to tie it into NLP?
Yes. And so, as I mentioned, there are hundreds of different types of NLP techniques. And the one that I think works best with this, this shiny object we want to purchase, we want to advance our businesses, we want to grow, because really it boils down to the fact that we have, there's doubt, there's fear. Look at what all of the other people are doing out there. I should be doing that. I need to be doing this. Impostor syndrome, it comes in, everybody has that at some point in their lives. Even very famous celebrities have been very honest and vulnerable about the fact that they feel like, well, why is someone going to purchase my product and work with me? Or why does someone want to hire me versus this person out here? So we see what our competitors are doing and we think, oh, I should try this. Oh, I should try this. And it comes back down to that fear, or we're not believing in ourselves, that imposter syndrome. So there's that negativity that we feel, even if, you know that you are successful in what you do and you have a lot to offer out there. We have doubt. It's just natural. It's human nature. And the fact that we are looking at what all of these people are doing on the internet, we compare ourselves to them. So one of the NLP techniques that I think works really well for this is the swish technique. And to explain what that is, I think I'll use the example of someone going in to give a presentation to their their boss or maybe to a room full of people, and they're nervous about that. Did they prepare enough? So there's just these negative feelings that are coming up. And so when you're working on the swish technique, the idea is that we want to replace those negative feelings with confident feelings. And so what you do is you do envision yourself going into that room, giving that presentation, and tap into those negative feelings that you're feeling. You're feeling nervous. Maybe your heart rate's going. You are, stuttering maybe over what you're saying. So you have all these fears of what might happen. Then imagine yourself going into that room confident. You feel very great about your presentation. You know what you're going to be talking about, and people are going to respond to it well. They're not going to be questioning what you have to say. So then you think of that negativity, you actually visualize that, and then you take those positive thoughts, and it's almost like you plaster them on top of that. And so I know it sounds kind of, oh, well, that sounds like it'd be very, very easy just to change my thoughts. Is a process. You have to do this more than once, just like with anything in life. Going to the gym, you can't go for 5 days and, have a perfect body. You have to commit to that for a period of time. The same thing happens with retraining your brain. And that's all what NLP is about. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. We're looking at reprogramming our brain and our thoughts and taking more control of that. And so with this swish technique, what you do is you say, okay, yep, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this negativity. I'm feeling this doubt. I'm feeling this imposter syndrome. People aren't going to want to work with me. And then you take the confidence that you have put over here. This is what you want to be feeling. And again, you just are like basically putting it on top of it and just covering it up. And then you practice this over and over. And usually it's like they say about 30 days with an NLP technique of consistently practicing this over and over works on changing your mind. And again, there's so many different types of techniques out there, but this is one specifically that I have found has worked with my clients who really are feeling that that imposter syndrome, or that they are really feeling self-doubt in this next chapter. There's so much confusion. There's so much unknown. There's doubt of whether or not they went into the right field, and maybe I should just go back to my 9-to-5 job versus trying to start this new business. But I really feel like this is very beneficial. And I also will say I'm a product of my product. I am to blame just as much as anybody else having that imposter syndrome, or looking at what other competitors are doing and I should be doing this, rather than stepping back and looking at my business, my clientele, and what's going to work best for me. So I do these techniques. I wholeheartedly believe in NLP because it's worked for me.
And so kind of going back to the to the syndrome of purchasing and getting more and more. Yes, it could be the imposter syndrome that is playing into that. But also, I think many people the sellers of those products, they are so intelligent in the way they present their product, and this fear of missing out, and really pumping it up to such an extent that people want to sign up for $70,000 programs, even though they barely have any money on the bank account. And it's a lot of mental, emotional manipulation that is going on, if not domination. And so I think that's the biggest reason why a lot of coaches sign up for those things, because they feel like either don't trust themselves to succeed on their own or with the knowledge that they have. Then there is this tendency to want to learn more and more and more because they're not quite confident in the abilities that they have. They feel like the more knowledge I have, the better coach eventually I'll be in 10 years from now. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, this whole fear of missing out, being kind of emotionally so caught up in it that when you sleep on it, actually on the next day, you realize, oh my God, what did I just buy? This is not worth it at all. I can't afford it. But it's too late because you already signed on the dotted line. So talk to us maybe a bit about that. And if you can do a demonstration for us, that would be even better. Talk to us about the selling, being caught up in the sale.
we're bombarded with that. If we're on social media, you can't help but have this come across your feed. People are searching for coaches. I get so many private messages and emails, not just through Facebook and Instagram, but on LinkedIn. That's the newest platform where I am just being bombarded by coaches who help coaches, and they want to sell their coaching program to help you with your coaching program. Honestly, it really goes back to doing your research about that. If you have a gut feeling, I really honestly do believe that you should listen to your gut. If something is saying, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money, should I invest in this? I'm not quite sure. Do your research. You really need to do your research, even beyond looking at their website and what they have to offer and the maybe 3 to 10 different reviews they have. We are all in this similar situation. Yes, we want testimonies. We want people to give us great testimonies because that's going to help us get different clients. But remember, we're asking for those as well. These people are. So ask to, reach out to some of their clients rather than just reading a testimony that's out there. This is your money in your business. And again, they might have a great product to offer, but is it best for you? So this is you taking charge of, your money and your business and what's going to work best. We're all going to make mistakes, and you might invest in something and it just does not end up being you. What kind of return policy do they have? Do they have anything? And if they don't, maybe that's something that you don't want to invest your money into. I also would encourage you to work with these different coaches or purchase these products where you can ask them some questions back and forth too. Maybe something very specific to your type of coaching or to your business and whether or not that is going to be beneficial for you. I know that I offer that to my clients. If I do free discovery calls because I don't want someone to sign up to work with me if it's not going to be a good match. So I offer that. I offer 30 minutes. Let's talk. Let's see if we're a good match. After that, even if somebody signs up for me after our first session and they don't feel as if my product, which is me and my techniques that I work with on them, are going to be beneficial, then I give them a refund. And I would look for that. What are the types of refunds that people are going to offer for you? And is that, again, going to be something that you're going to want to invest in? Because we all want to grow our businesses. That's why we're out there. Me personally, I was being really sought after by these different coaches that were showing pictures of them on the beach with champagne or flying in private jets. And look at my lifestyle. Look at how great this is. And for me personally, that's not what I'm after. I want to help people. I am a coach. I went into coaching, not just so I could have a lifestyle where I'm on the beach all the time. Now, of course, I love to take vacations and I do that, but I don't want to build up a coaching business that is just putting people into some type of funnel where they're not getting really what they've invested into. And that's what a lot of these products are that we're getting bombarded with and people are presenting to us are these funnels. They're really funnels they're trapping us. And so this is you taking that time to really evaluate what is going to be best for you. And one of the NLP techniques that I feel like can really benefit people who are feeling a little anxiety when it comes to my business isn't growing. I haven't had a new client this month. I'm seeing my bank account go down. So I need to invest in something because then that's going to take me to the next level. And there's anxiety there. And there's just, again, that sense of urgency that we have. Anchoring yourself. Anchoring is another technique that I think is it's probably the easiest technique to use, and it can calm you down. It can center you to allow you to just take a moment to make a decision that's really going to be beneficial for you. So walking you through what the anchoring technique is, the easiest way to demonstrate that is I'll use my fingers, tapping my fingers. So thinking of something that's very calming for you, happy for you. For me, my happy, calm thought is the beach, the ocean, the waves. That just it centers me, and it's my happy place. And so that's the thought that I'm going to think of. That is going to be my anchoring thought. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a physical activity with that thought. So you're just maybe in the shower and you're going to practice this technique. So you're thinking about your beach, your ocean, the happy moment. And the physical technique can really be anything, very minor. You want it to be something that's not really extravagant. It could just be something that you could do in the car. You could do it when you're in a meeting. So tapping your fingers together can be an easy way to do that, because you can do that with your hand on your lap. Mine specifically, I just kind of tap my knee a little bit, but we'll tap the fingers together. So you're just thinking of the beach, the ocean, tapping your fingers together, just getting happy with that. So you do this for, again, it's not a one and done. You're going to have to practice this for a period of time. And then what's going to happen is eventually you're not going to have to be thinking of that happy place. When you start to get anxious or overwhelmed or bombarded by all these different emails of different products to purchase, you can just do the fingers. And it's going to create the same type of sensation in your body. Your parasympathetic nervous system is going to slow down. You're going to be calming yourself naturally just by doing that physical technique, because of that thought that you had been practicing on. So this is a great technique that you can use when you really are starting to have those feelings of, I don't know what to do next. Which product should I purchase? Again, I don't have enough clients right now. Did I make the right choice? Just anchor yourself. Anchor yourself, calm down, your breathing's going to slow down, and then you can take a moment to process and see if maybe that product is going to work best for you.
Thank you for sharing this. Just kind of like going back to purchasing and that shiny thing, and I gotta have it now. So I certainly had my experiences with that, where I definitely, the last thing I was thinking is refund policies and asking people feedback about that thing. It just sounds so good. Unless you really get a bad feeling about the way that the people sell. Some people, you can clearly smell the greed working itself out there. It's kind of like subconsciously we get put off by it. But there are other people who are actually genuinely offering good products, and they're putting it out there, and they are trying to be good people, and they're trying to really sell it and do a good deed. But it might be not the right thing for us at this moment, but we still get kind of like the fear of missing out. And right now you get it for $1,000 instead of $10,000. And before you know, you're signing up just because, you're just gonna get it today. You're never gonna get it again. And when you are in that state of mind where actually, quite frankly, probably not the rational mind is making decisions, is that desire, is the emotional body and such, is there any techniques that we can use then to kind of like get ourselves disentangled from that fear of missing out?
Honestly, the anchoring technique is the one that I would recommend, because it's the easiest one to practice, and you can be centered on your own. You don't have to work with a coach who specializes in NLP to really master the anchoring technique. And I've been there as well. When I started my business, I saw so many of those products that came across. They looked like amazing products, but $5,000, $10,000 to purchase this, is that going to be best for me? And I was making some of those impulsive decisions. And in the end, it wasn't best for me. All of our coaching practices are a little bit different. And so you do have to look at what they're offering. And then also what that product, is that the best for your learning style? Is that the best for the way that you're marketing your business? Some people really love in-person, the Zoom type of coaching packages that people will offer. Others like a self-paced course that you're purchasing. Others will have different homework type of things. So look at your style as well. Is what they're offering, even though this seems like a really, really great product, I don't learn that way, or I don't have the staff to be able to do this type of marketing for my program. And so that could honestly be when working with just a one-on-one life coach can help you map out what is going to be best for me right now? Which one of these products are going to work? And do your homework. So create a spreadsheet, create a list of the different products that you see that are coming out there that are interesting to you, that you feel like could be beneficial, and then weigh those pros and cons. And there are always going to be new opportunities, always on the market, every single day. I'm constantly getting emails and seeing what different things that I can do to grow my coaching business. But any type of business, it's not going to grow overnight. So if you're going into starting a coaching business and you think that by the end of year one, you're going to be operating at X amount of dollars, it's not realistic. There is a very, very small percentage of people that are going to be extremely successful their first year in coaching. If you're doing it on your own, if you're going into working with another coach or to a business that offers coaching, it could be a little bit different. But going into starting your own business, starting your own coaching business, it's going to take a while to build that up. So don't try to accelerate it too quickly. Look at the different programs that you have to offer. And, if that $10,000 program, they're offering it for $3,000 now, and it's the last offer, but you just don't have that, then don't invest into it at that time. And I know it can be hard because all of us want to see our coaching businesses grow quickly, but use that anchoring technique. Calm yourself down and look at the entire situation before you're making those impulsive decisions. I mean, anything in life, not just our businesses, we can tend to sometimes make those impulsive decisions, but this is your money that you're investing into your business, and you want to make sure that you're doing what's best for you. And take your time. Just know that it's not going to happen overnight, and that's okay. It shouldn't. Because to build really a successful business, it should grow. It should take some time to see that grow and evolve.
Jasmine?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Eureka. Hi. Sorry, I can't put my camera on at the moment, but I'm here with you. Thank you very much for sharing all your wisdom. I had a question too. It's very much linked to some of the things already mentioned. That obviously there's so many things out there, and let's be honest, coaches, when they start, they just don't know. They don't know what's out there. They don't know what their style is. You talked about the alignment, whether those programs are aligned with how you work, your techniques you're using, or what kind of results you want to achieve. So the biggest issue is the lack of clarity there, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of just being clear exactly what is it that's going to work for me. And then you just see all these, shiny objects out there, all these beautiful programs sold really, really skillfully, very powerful marketing programs around, designed around them and everything, but they still struggle with that clarity. So what is it that I need right now? What is it that that aligns with who I am, or my style of working, or how I want to create the result? Do you have any tips, any thoughts, or perhaps you could share how you did it at the beginning that worked for you? How did you figure it out? What are the things that are going to work for you? What is it that you should be learning? What are those shiny objects that you should go after and you shouldn't go after?
Trial and error for sure, but to help you prevent making many of those errors, so you don't have to spend that money in ways that I did. I'll go back to what I did. And I remember being approached by someone. I purchased this program, and as I was going through the program, they told me that you are a coach third, fourth, fifth. You're a marketer first. You're a salesman first. All of these things that they were telling me that I had to be first. And I didn't like that because I wanted to be a coach first. Yes, those other things are important in your business, especially until you grow to the point where you can afford to hire somebody to assist you with your marketing, until you can afford a virtual assistant. You might be the only person in your business. So you're having to answer the emails and post on social media and still do your coaching. But I didn't like that answer. I didn't like hearing somebody tell me that sure, you want to be a life coach, but coaching comes, way down. And my passion started to fade. I realized I was focusing so much on marketing myself. And that's really where I started to invest quite a bit of my money, was in these different marketing programs and how to, market my courses. And I started to dread what I was doing. I went into being a coach because I loved the idea of being able to help people. And I think that's why most of us want to be coaches, because we want to help with whatever type of product it is, whether you're a health coach and you want to help people get in shape and lose weight, or you're a business coach and you want to help people grow their businesses. You want to help people. You want to see your clients succeed. And so when I was in that program that I invested a decent amount of money into, and they were telling me that I'm a coach, way down here, and I've got to be all of these other things first. I know that had to be a piece of what I had to do, but my heart started to get out of it. I was kind of dreading what I had to do on those days when I looked at my to-do list. So I would say, go back and ask yourself that question. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to be a coach? Why am I in this? I guarantee anybody who's listening to this right now, they're not going to say, because I want to make a ton of money and I don't want to have to work and I want to sit on the beach with my glass of champagne. I don't think anybody goes into coaching because that's our ultimate goal. We go into this because we want to help people. And that's what I would say, is to ask yourself that question. What are these different programs offering you? And again, if they're just offering you ways to scale your business so you can make a ton of money, and that's really what they're sending out to you, I would say you question that and really listen to yourself and ask yourself again, why am I doing this? When I decided that I was going to focus on my coaching again and not spend hours and hours and so much of my time doing the social media, I didn't really see, my engagement on social media go down, even though I was posting less, or I was maybe recycling some of my content, and I was able to really focus on my passion, which was, again, my coaching business. So I think just really, if you start to feel that overwhelmed and pull different ways and where I should do these things, ask yourself, why am I doing this? And why did you go into this career?
Thank you so much. I'm just wondering, Rena mentioned it earlier, potentially, is it possible to have a guided reflection with your help? So imagine that we are your client and anyone else who's listening in, and share a technique, perhaps, guide us through it that could help our members in the long term with this.
In helping them in what sense? Just in making those decisions?
Yeah. In that moment of panic, I should do another course, I should spend all this money that they are going to potentially regret later on. In that moment, can we do one of your exercises that you normally use with your clients that can help coach in that moment?
Yes. So dismantling the inner critic is one that I used actually quite a bit more when I was going through my divorce, but then that was the first time I had used that technique. And then when I was really struggling with what were going to be some of my next steps in my coaching business, and which path did I want to go down. So for this, it is taking those negative thoughts that you have, or the unsure thoughts, or the self-doubt, and you're going to make them lose their power, or you're going to at least take some of the power away. And what I mean by that is that these thoughts can overwhelm us, and they can be presented at really inopportune time in our lives. The example I'm going to use is that I'm never going to be successful. So I know that was something that just popped into my head when I started this business. I was very, very overwhelmed and scared about starting a brand new coaching business, and honestly, not really knowing what I was doing. I was starting to have a lot of self-doubt, not believing that I could do it, and really questioning whether or not I was going to be able to be successful. So in this example is the negative thought that keeps popping into our head is like, I'm never going to be successful. So what you do is you're going to be saying this out loud to yourself. This is a good technique to do when nobody's around because you can feel a little silly. So I, maybe again in the shower in the morning that's when all of us tend to have a lot of these thoughts. So I'm never going to be successful. What we're going to do is you're going to say that out loud 5 times. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to be successful, never going to be successful, over and over. So then after that, you're going to say that technique again, but this time you're going to say it in a soothing voice, as if someone, like maybe your mom's giving you a hug as you're going to say this out loud, or again, a friend has their arm around you or something like that. So there's a comfort there, and you're going to say it very calming this time. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to be successful. The next, you're going to say it in a silly, like kind of upbeat voice. And I kind of put a little silly accent on there too. So I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to be successful. What you're doing at that point, and I know it can feel really, really silly to do. So that's why I do recommend that you doing it by yourself for the first time. You're slowly taking power from that thought. So that thought that's I'm never going to be successful that you said in the beginning in your voice, because that's what you hear all the time, you are slowly taking some of that away, the power of that thought away, just because you have changed that tone in your head. The thought's not going to go away. That's not what NLP does. NLP is not a type of hypnosis that makes you not think those anymore. What you do is you're taking control of that thought now. So when you start to have that feeling of, I'm not going to be successful, why did I go into this career? Honor that thought, say it out loud, and then use that technique with the calming and then the silly. And again, it's so fascinating to me how that actually works, because I've done it and I still use it for different things. Those thoughts that just will come into your mind at those inopportune times and make you feel like you've made a bad choice in this career path. So dismantling the inner critic, I think, really can help in some of those times.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. I know you touched briefly on it, but how does working with you look like? I know there are different types of NLP. Is this like the hooks or the crux of your coaching? Is that the backbone of your coaching, or do you do something else too with your clients? Talk to us more about it.
My coaching is very personalized. I have worked with many different coaches in my life, different business coaches, different just general life coaches to help me with personal issues in life. And I have found that some have very specific programs that they'll walk you through. And homework 1, homework 2, homework 3. Again, they're very cookie cutter, and that's not my style. So if someone works with me one-on-one, then we work on creating the goals. So with my clients, we always focus on short-term and long-term goals. And long-term goals, I'm not talking about 5 years from now. Our long-term goals in my coaching program is 3 months. So we focus on short-term goals, which is weekly, and then long-term goals, which is 3 months from now. Everything is personalized. So after my session with my one-on-one client, I customize the homework for them based off of what they're going through in their life at that time and what techniques I feel are going to be most beneficial for them. Now, my group coaching program is a little bit different than that. So my group coaching program, right now, I only have a group coaching program for divorced women. In 2023, I might venture to do a different groups, but right now we have a small group program, and they are a little bit more structured than that. So if someone's wanting a little bit more personalization to it, it would be that one-on-one coaching. But again, even though we have group coaching, the different techniques aren't going to work for everybody. That's why there are so many different types of NLP techniques. Some do work for some, and they work for some specific scenarios. So again, my group coaching program is a little bit different than that. And then I do have also a 3-hour intensive boot camp, and we go through several different types of techniques. So after the fact, people can work on trying some of them on their own. So it is a little bit more structured, but I don't really believe in having anything too cookie cutter because, as I mentioned in the beginning, there's no one size fits all approach to anything. And one technique's going to work for one person. It might not work for the next person. Just like these programs that are out there, one of them might be really, really great for a specific type of coach and not so great for the next.
Perfect. I guess when it comes to the shiny object syndrome, one technique that worked wonderful for me is never ever purchase another program before the last one made you money, because before you got all the money back. And so all the programs that I invested, I made sure that while I was doing the program or shortly after, I actually got all the money back. I applied the techniques, I watched the replays, I made sure I do my homework, and the rubber must meet the road. And that's what for many people, I feel that's the issue with many people. They consume and consume and consume and absorb. And then you ask them and they say, oh, I love learning. I love learning. And that's why they just jump from one program to another. And the program doesn't make them money. And they just go for another and another and another. And then before you know, all those programs, they're like a full-time job. That's all you do, just sitting in some workshops, whatever it is, and just consuming and consuming and consuming. And so by following this technique, never putting money up for anything else until that which I'm learning right now has made me money, I was able to refrain myself from jumping at that shiny thing. And it went along also with a lot of inner work. So I remember years ago, the first program I signed up, and how emotionally caught up I was in purchasing it now, because the opportunity is going to go away and I'm never going to get the chance again, to how cold-blooded, let's put it that way, I am when it comes to this new programs, just because of all the inner healing work that I've done, where your emotions becomes just so much calmer, and you actually are able to rationally look at it and just see, yeah, this is like $70,000. A, I don't have that money. B, I doubt that it's going to get me the results based on where I am at the stage that I am. I doubt it's going to get me the results that I want, because my aspirations are not aligned with what they're offering. Mm-hmm. And so kind of like starting to think on your own. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Starting to think on your own and making decisions not out of the place of, oh my God, the time is running out, I gotta get it, but more from the place of, okay, what is the next step in my business right now? And I think those of you who have known me for some time, one of the things that I often advocate is build your audience first. Yes. And let the audience inform what the next step is. So if nobody's asking me for an email, nobody's asking me for a website, why should I be investing hours and hours and hours in building a website if nobody has asked me for it? If LinkedIn is doing the job, or maybe a lead magnet, just a landing page with the lead magnet is doing the job. No, many people, they put the cart before the horse, and they start, basically you start building a house before you ask the people that are supposed to live in that house what kind of house they actually want. Maybe they want a 3-story house, but you're building a 1-story house. So basically, always focusing on the audience first. You can find a lot of audience on Facebook, LinkedIn, start engaging with them, bringing them into your brainstorming sessions, inviting them into free sessions, or just networking with them, asking questions, asking them what they want, engaging with them. You start seeing patterns, you start seeing questions that keeps coming up. Why don't you write an ebook about it? Okay, if they ask me to write an ebook about it, maybe it's time I do. Because a lot of these courses, and that's probably another big issue with all those courses, that they're excellent in the sense that these people, they distilled 10 years, 20 years of the experience in that one course, but they're putting a buffet in front of you. It's a buffet. And you're not supposed to try and do everything in 1 month. That's why I freaked out. That's why I got overwhelmed, because I wanted to do everything.
Yes.
But then you go back to what does my audience want, and build from there. And every step of the way, do that dance with your audience, keep asking, keep coming back, and then building it up. And then you will see a lot of the things that they present to you, they don't work for you. They don't work for your audience. They are not your style. You don't enjoy doing it. So what's the point? They give you the whole gamma of all the things they've tried, and they have a 50 people team behind the curtains that can do all the things that they don't like doing. But you're just a one-man show. So you got to really, really, really pick and choose. Maybe LinkedIn is all you like, and that's enough. That's actually more than enough. Then maybe you can come up with some lead magnet. Lead magnet, LinkedIn is more than enough to have a business.
So many great points. And I can relate to so much of what you said, because I was very similar. I'm self-admittedly an impatient person, and I wanted to see my business grow. So I wanted to do all of the things in the beginning. And I was doing so many things that in the end, that's not what my clientele wanted. And focusing really on building up that base and asking them what's going to be beneficial for you. If I create this course, would you purchase it? Or, how can I help you do this? The other thing I would mention is the different social media platforms out there. And I was, told again by one of my early business coaches that I needed to make sure I had presence on LinkedIn and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all of them. And really, I was putting so much time into all of them rather than focusing on what was going to be best for my audience. The majority of somebody's audience might be through LinkedIn, or it might be Instagram. Instagram is really great for certain types of audiences. My audience really is Facebook. So that's where my demographic is. They're more engaged there, but I wasn't spending that time there because I thought I needed to be doing all of these different things at once. So many great points you had, because again, some of those mistakes I made in the beginning, I felt like I had to be doing all of these different things, and I really wasn't focusing enough on what it was my followers and my potential clients wanted.
Those of you who have been following us last year as well, we had some great conversations around Facebook versus LinkedIn, and when to go where and for what and how. And so just kind of like a reflection on it again. From my experience, like if you're working with like divorced women or like personal stuff, LinkedIn is very professional, and people might not be so outspoken about the divorce, like just because the bosses can see, their entire professional network can see about it. So if you're coaching along those lines, I think people are much more comfortable sharing personal stuff on Facebook. So if your niche has something to do with divorce or with health issues, or something that is, people would rather prefer keeping it under closed doors, Facebook is your platform. But if you are someone who is offering more of a professional service, or is something that a person would be comfortable sharing with their bosses, or would be comfortable their bosses knowing about it, or their professional network knowing about it, then LinkedIn is your place. And just pick one or the other, or both, if you're comfortable with both. But if you're not very familiar with either of the two, and you have not really used the tools to create a business, then maybe just choose one and really get to know one of them. But if you know both, you're comfortable with both of them. Like in my case, I'm comfortable with both of them. So then you can use both of them, because there are plenty of scheduling tools that allow you with one click to post in Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook at the same time. So it's not going to be extra work for you, because it just does all this for you. But but if you don't have the time, or you're not so familiar with the two platforms, then maybe choose one or the other, unless you decide going for a Facebook group, because LinkedIn groups just don't work. And so then in that case, then definitely probably Facebook. You can still use LinkedIn to network and then channel people into your Facebook group. You can. And we've done lots and lots of training on LinkedIn last year. You can still get it. Reach out to us. We had somebody from LinkedIn earlier this year. Listen to that podcast. Lots and lots of great suggestions for how to network effectively on LinkedIn. Go check out that replay on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, of course. And before we wrap up, so Jasmine, how can people reach out to you?
The best way is just to visit my website, and my website is goodthingsaregonacome.com. And all of my information to all my socials you can find at the bottom of my homepage. And I post a blog. Usually it's every week. I've been really busy, so it's been every other week. It's free resources for people to just kind of see my style and what I do, and all the information about working with me is there. But that's goodthingsaregonacome.com.
I have just dropped all the links here in the chat, and I have also dropped them under the video on Facebook. And I'm going to drop all the links also under the video on YouTube. So once this episode gets published, go check it out. And any last words before we wrap up?
Thank you so much for having me today too. And I think just, remember to believe in yourself, listen to yourself. This is a journey for all of us. Going into a business is scary, and coaching is, again, as I said, I think we all went into this because we really want to help people. And I'll just end the way I end all of my blogs is, you got this.
So true.
Thank
you
so
got
much,
it.
Jasmine.
Have a good day, everyone, and see you again next week. We're going to be back next week, Wednesday, not on Thursday. Our usual time is on Thursday. Now it's going to be the same time, but on Wednesday. Join us. And thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
So I'm gonna